I'll start with a finder this morning, the new finder, as they call it. GSE slips, Ghana Stock Exchange slips, as trading moderates after midweek rally. Okay, so they call it a slip, but apparently it seems to be some sort of normalization of trade after a spike in the middle of the week. Then Ghana losing over $600 million annually to imported sugary juice. I like the way the story says we are losing that much, because I mean, to me, I don't care whether people actually make a profit from bringing it in. It's a loss to the nation, because sugary drinks, honestly, if I tell you what it does to your body, you'll be shocked. There's a celebratory message for Mona Kaptan, who at 50 has chalked a golden era in Ghanaian golfing. We all remember Mona Kaptan, right? I used to watch her on GTV. Congratulations to her. Right now, Enabom Program empowers youth with $1,000 innovation grants and $10,000 scale-up capital. Now, I was actually at an event on Thursday organized by the Enabom I think they're called the Enabom Collaborative. Yeah,
of the University of Ghana.
Yes, in fact, it's University of Ghana, KNUST, a couple of other universities, McGill University in North America, and Mastercard Foundation.
Yeah,
and it's a really clever thing they're doing. They are really sort of trying to teach food systems to people rather than individual agricultural skills, right? So they're trying to really help people to incorporate all the knowledge around food systems, the entire value chain of agriculture and agribusiness. But the way they are doing it is also by sparking innovation, giving every qualified person $1,000. Listen, just play with it. Tell us what you come up with, what ideas you have in the space, right? And if it's good, you can scale up to $10,000, all of it a grant, for you to build.
I'm actually
your
accepting to join the advisory unit of the Enabom Program, so that will help a lot of the youth to understand food systems.
That's a worthwhile use of your time.
Yes. Now let's go to the news center, and there are a lot of stories, but the big one is on WASSCE failures. WASSCE failures surge. 220,000 Miss University cutoff grades in 4 core subjects, and 146,000 WASSCE subjects results withheld or cancelled. 146,000 results withheld or cancelled. More from the news center. Nana Konadu State's funeral draws global and local dignitaries. Kinafama CEO Dr. Nsia Poku elected new AGI president. I love this because we have a very experienced industrialist going to lead the AGI. So we are going. I hope that he is able to bring a lot of reforms and is able to push for the right policies to drive industrial growth in Ghana. Now, Jabesh Mr. Arthur has received the Lifetime Energy Awards at the just ended Energy Awards, and First Bank CEO calls on Mahama pledges support for the economy.
I have the Ghanaian point this morning, and it's celebrating President John Dramani Mahama. So we say a belated one going out to the president. Comes with a picture of the president and his spouse visiting some wards, hospitals, spending time with children over the weekend. And that was a very touching one. So we say again, belated happy birthday going out to the president. It's on the front page of the Ghanaian point as well. Beyond that as well, the Asantehene has a message for President John Dramani Mahama. He says, take keen interest in rising unemployment. So that's one of the stories, of course, those in government might want to pay attention to. Goldboard Jewelry is now unveiling as Ghana's first 24/7 digital gold showroom. So the CEO for the organization, that's Gertrude Donko, has now been pointing out some of the digital innovation moves or drives.
The CEO of Goldboard
Jewelry.
Goldboard Jewelry.
Yes,
right.
Precisely, yes. So she's MFA Donko. So we have Goldboard and of course the units that's into the ornamentals as well. So they are now putting in place digitization, if you want to call it as such, as part of the drive to sell more of our gold. Yeah.
Right. Shall I bring you the daily graphic?
Yeah.
Now, there's another story about Otunfo's advice to the government or to the president. It says, provide KNUST financial clearance to recruit more staff. And that's Asantehene urging the government, right?
Yeah.
Now, I wonder, KNUST is one of the biggest universities, right?
Yeah.
I just wonder how many staff they have and why there's a need for more. I'm sure they have growing numbers that require more staff to take care of.
If you look at KNUS, they have some data up to about 2021, and as at then their teaching staff numbers around 808, non-teaching staff 2,150. I don't know whether since then they have significantly increased the number. If they had, Asantehene will not be asking the school to,
no doubt,
for support for the school. And the school's total population, it's around 80,000. I estimate it to be around 80,000, 90,000, because as at 2021 it was 83,125 with 808 teaching staff and 2,000 non-teaching staff.
That's a weirdly imbalanced ratio, isn't it?
And it's not just KNUST. The other universities also need a lot of staff
It's
to be able to teach the rising numbers
effectively. A lecturer standing in front of 300 students to teach them one subject. It's difficult. One course. Sorry.
This is where the challenge is. Now, why must the state give financial clearance? Ordinarily, you would expect that the university, beyond the current numbers, can also raise funds and appoint others. Why am I making this point? I'm making this point because, look, in other jurisdictions, what they do is that when they go around the world recruiting students, and they come here into this studio so that we announce that they are having open days, it is because they know that if you come, you will pay more. And the more money you pay would go into running the school, including recruiting new teachers. We should begin to, think outside the box when it comes to education. We should be able to recruit international students. The former CEO of the I don't know whether he's still the CEO of the South African Tourism Authority. One day I had a conversation with him. He said, mention any sector and I'll tell you the tourism potential. So when I mention education, he says, look, if you build the best universities, you can advertise them, and people would come to your university. They come and spend there. Health, build the best hospitals. People would come there when they need medical treatments. So I am saying that we should be able to get to the stage where these institutions would have the financial strength to also appoint more lecturers and not relying solely on government. Because the truth is that, Charlie, everybody is looking forward to the government. Financial clearance.
But why is that the case? You see, why is it that government prefers to have control of universities, or is it that universities are unable to rise to the point where they can look after themselves? Which is it? Because I cannot imagine for the life of me that universities that are collecting fees from 80-something thousand students, if left to manage their own facility, cannot do so. I find that hard to believe.
Are they collecting realistic fees? Is what we should ask also.
You talked about educational tourism. I know that Nigerians come in large numbers to study in Ghana. What's the difference between the fees we charge Nigerian students and the fees we charge Ghanaians?
They'll pay the full cost of the fees.
So we ought to be, maximizing some of these opportunities.
I have seen the UPSA model. I've seen what UPSA does, and a lot of it is gone into infrastructural development. What they've done is that they've actually engaged government. So the UPSA fees are higher than the regular public university fees. And they also have mounted programs. They did so well with the evening MBA programs, which some of us were on. So these funds, they take loans from financial institutions and get students to pay their school fees to that institution. So you know how much they're getting, you make the deductions, and over the period you've seen the massive infrastructural improvement at UPSA.
One of the things I'm looking forward to is to see academia and industry collaborations, which will drive growth of industry, for industry to see the need to put money back in academia. as donations, grants to academia. And as we've been discussing over the weekend, a lot of PhD students graduated, master students, MPhil students graduated. What research areas did they work on, and what is the impact of that on national development? And what are the various universities researching in, and what are we also putting in? And I'm looking at the annual research reports of the schools, and as I always say, there is very little funding from the states itself for impactful research.
You're so right. There are examples of this in other parts of the world that we should be learning from. In the United States, the industry will fund a research chair at a university, and then everybody who passes through that particular department, who studies in that program, will be funded. Their research will be funded by that industry. The Washington Post funded a chair at Washington and Lee University in Washington DC, and I had the privilege of attending, and I'm a part of their research team. Nice. Every year we discuss lots of very interesting things in the world of media. Anyway, remove special prosecutor, an EC chair, and 2 deputies. 10 petitions, 10 petitioners have appealed to the president to do this.
I'll give you a mashup of the Ghanaian Times and the BNFT. GRA boss pledges simpler, more predictable tax regime. This is the BNFT. And Ghanaian Times, Asantehene resumes Boko conflict mediation, and Youth Development Ministry launches 2 initiatives to drive agri-food innovation. If you go to my Joy Online, air quality crisis deepens in Jamestown, Labadi, and Abofu. They emerge as Ghana's toxic triangle. Rigid school structures make religious freedom very difficult, warns ex-GES director. Muntaka is the top story this morning on my Joy Online. He's alleging that Wesley Girls ask students to spy on Muslim girls who they don't pray. That is on my Joy Online, Muntaka's allegation.
Who didn't pray?
No, so Wesley Girls ask students to spy on Muslim girls so that they don't pray.
So they don't pray?
Yeah. Oh, that's what the Interior Minister is alleging. Is on my Joy Online. You can have the details there. And WASSCE results, nearly 1 out of 4 candidates failed core mathematics and social studies. We have the full breakdown of that coming up on the show later.
We do need to make some time to talk about this Wesley Girls thing, I think.